What if I told you the most heartbreaking moment in Squid Game wasn't just a twist, but the only way this story could have ended? Season 3 doesn't just close the chapter, it slams the book shut with a gut-wrenching finale that will stay with fans forever. So before we go any further, here's your spoiler warning. We're diving straight into the emotional, powerful final episode and breaking down why this ending wasn't just good. It was perfect. The final season delivers an emotional punch right from the start, with Gi-Hun's death standing as the most powerful and meaningful moment in the entire show. His sacrifice wasn't random. It was necessary. For the message of the series to fully land, Gi-Hun had to die. It wasn't about surviving one more round or outlasting another competitor. It was about showing that true change doesn't happen from destroying a single part of the system. It requires a shift in mindset across society, something that takes far more than one person or one moment to achieve. As the episode built toward that devastating conclusion, we witnessed one of the darkest turns yet. Byong-Ji, driven by greed, prepared to sacrifice his own child in the final round just so he could claim the prize money. It was shocking, revolting even. This was his own child, and he was willing to give them up for wealth. The scene was deeply emotional and horrifying, with blood running down his face, his eyes filled with rage and desperation. He didn't even seem human anymore. It was like watching someone possessed, so consumed by the game and its promises that all morality was gone. Throughout the tense confrontation, the red light on the floor would flash into view every now and then, a chilling reminder that the final round hadn't technically begun. And yet, the stakes felt higher than ever. There was a constant fear hanging over the scene. If Byong-Ji fell, Gi-Hun might have to give up his life to save the baby. And that's exactly what happened. What made it even more powerful was that even after Byong-Ji tried to kill him, Gi-Hun still tried to save him. It was a moment that showed who Gi-Hun truly was, a man who never lost his humanity, no matter how twisted the world around him became. He was different from everyone else in the game, and his actions proved it again and again. When Gi-Hun actually died, it felt like time itself stopped. Even the VIPs were silent, hanging on his every word, unsure of what he was about to do. And when he made the choice to sacrifice himself to save the baby, the entire scene transformed into something unforgettable. His face was calm, emotionless even, like someone who had already accepted the truth. He couldn't win in a world so deeply broken, but he could still do one good thing. And then he looked into the camera. That single shift in his gaze made it feel like he was speaking directly to us. The message of the show, hidden behind all the games and violence, came through loud and clear. The real world isn't much different. The corruption, the selfishness, the suffering, it exists here too. We were meant to feel it. And we did. At the same time, Kang Noeul was moments away from ending her life, having lost hope of ever finding her daughter or seeing any goodness in the world. But when she saw Gi-Hun save the baby, something changed. It was proof that not everything was rotten, and that there was still a reason to keep going. That glimmer of hope pulled her back from the edge. And soon after, she even discovered that she might still be able to find her daughter after all. Hearing the words, "Player 456 eliminated," was devastating. Watching Gi-Hun's image disappear from the screen, followed by darkness and then flames engulfing the island, it truly felt like the end. Especially since we'd already seen the bloodied, broken remains of past games. It was final. It was over. One particularly emotional moment came when In-ho stood over Gi-Hun's lifeless body. If you look closely, it seems like his left eye is welling up with tears. No words were spoken, but the feeling was there. In-ho respected him. Gi-Hun never broke, never lost his belief in doing the right thing even when In-ho tried to twist him. And that meant something. In-ho's own ending wasn't what many might have expected. He didn't go out in a dramatic fight or face justice in some huge climax. He simply vanished, blending into the chaos. Later, we see him in Los Angeles, quietly returning Gi-Hun's belongings to his daughter, along with a card containing the winnings from the first season. It was a subtle but touching moment that showed he did care in his own way. He'd had many chances to let Gi-Hun die in the games, but chose not to. That meant something, too. What really drove the message home was what came next. In the US, we learned that the games are still happening. Recruiters are active, and the same horrors are taking place across the world. This wasn't just a Korean nightmare, it was global. That revelation gave the entire series even more weight. The problem isn't one location, one island, or one system. It's humanity itself. Visually, the final episode was a masterpiece. The dark gray tones created a somber, closed-off atmosphere that matched the story's emotional intensity. Every scene felt immersive, pulling us deeper into this bleak, hopeless world. The moments of color, like Kang Noeul's pink suit or the roaring flames, offered sharp contrast and made each shot stand out. Close-up shots were used masterfully, allowing every tear, every flicker of emotion to hit hard. Even with In-ho wearing the frontman's mask, just seeing him look down, we could feel what he was going through. The slow-motion sequences added drama and beauty, especially when Gi-Hun leaped between platforms or fell back for the final time. Every frame felt intentional and meaningful. In the end, Squid Game closed the way it had to. Gi-Hun's death was painful, but it gave the story weight. It gave the entire series purpose. Killing off the main character was a risk, but it paid off. It sent the message home and made it unforgettable. This wasn't just a show, it was a statement. A brutal reflection of who we are and how far we'll go for survival, for greed, for hope. Squid Game ended exactly when it should have, before it lost its edge, before it became something it wasn't. It went out at its peak and it'll be remembered for generations. So there you have it. Why Squid Game Season 3 ended in the most powerful and perfect way. If you're curious to see a full breakdown of all the games from the season or want deeper dives into previous seasons, check out the other videos below. And let me know, what did you think of the finale?